dear children. Good morning to all. Once again, welcome back to class 11 microeconomic class. So today onwards, we will start our revision class. So today we are going to discuss about the important questions in chapter 4 market structure and price determination. So this chapter is divided into 3 parts. They are first one market structure or forms of market, then second one price determination under perfect competition, and third part is implication or tools of demand and supply. So first let us discuss the questions from market forms. So we have to study only one market form, that is perfect competitions. So some expected questions from this portions are: first one, no selling costs are required in A. Monopoly, B. Monopolistic competition, C. Perfect competition, D. Oligopoly. So selling costs are not required in perfect competition. So the answer is perfect competition. Then dash curve is a horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis in perfect competition. So we know that in perfect competition both AR, MR, demand, etc. are same. So what is the answer? A AR, B MR, C both A and B, D neither A nor B. So the correct answer is C, that is both A and B, that is AR and MR curves are horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis in perfect competition. The next, AR curve coincides with MR curve in which market forms? So obviously we know that it is in perfect competition. In perfect competition, AR curve coincides with MR curve. Here the AR is equal to MR. In perfect competition, AR is equal to MR. Then there are some conceptual questions. That is, define perfect competition. So what is perfect competition? So perfect competition refers to a market situation where there are very large number of buyers and sellers dealing in a homogeneous product at a price fixed by the industry. So here the firm is a price taker. So seller is a price taker. Then price is determined by who? The demand and supply or industry or market forces of demand and supply. So what is perfect competition? It is a market structure in which there are large number of buyers and sellers selling homogeneous product, and this price of product is fixed by the industry, and a firm is, or the seller or producer is a price taker. Then what are the features of perfect competition? So the features of perfect competition are very large number of buyers and sellers. From the definition itself, we can understand the features of perfect competition. So there are very large number of buyers and sellers selling. What is the nature of product in perfect competition? They are selling homogeneous product, that is same product. There is no difference between product. So they are same in size, color, taste, smell, etc. So they are selling homogeneous product. Then freedom of entry and exit. At any time, the seller and buyer can enter into the market or exit from the market. There is freedom of entry and exit. Then perfect knowledge among buyers and sellers. So the seller is selling homogeneous product. So the buyer and seller has perfect knowledge about the market, about the product, the price of the product and quality of the product, and all terms they are knowing. So there is perfect knowledge among buyers and sellers. Then perfect mobility of the factors of production. So factors of production has perfect mobility. They can move from one place to another place very easily. That is perfect mobility. Then perfectly elastic slope of demand curve. So here AR demand curve is equal to average revenue and that is equal to marginal revenue because price is same in perfect competition for the product. That's why they are perfectly elastic slope of demand curve. That means demand curve, AR curve and MR curve are same and it is parallel to x-axis. There is a horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis. That is the slope of demand curve, AR curve and also MR curve in perfect competition. Then absence of selling cost. Selling cost, for example, advertisement cost. So there is no need for advertisement cost because the buyers and sellers have perfect knowledge about the market and also they are selling, the producer are selling homogeneous product. So there is no need for any selling cost. So these are the features of perfect competition. Then the next important question, that is, next part is price determination. How the price is determined in a perfectly competitive market structure. So the one words are, first one, the price determined by the intersection of demand curve and supply curve is known as what? So the price determined by the intersection of demand curve and supply curve is known as A. Controlled price, B. Equilibrium price, C. Fixed price and D. None of these. So the answer is equilibrium price. The intersection of demand curve and supply curve is the equilibrium price. In that point, equilibrium price is determined. Then the second question, equilibrium price remain the same when increase in demand is equal to increase in supply, decrease in demand is equal to decrease in supply, increase in demand when supply is perfectly elastic, all of this. The equilibrium price remain the same. There is no difference in equilibrium price if there is increase in demand is equal to increase in supply. There is equal change in demand and supply, or equal decrease in demand and supply, or increase in demand when supply is perfectly elastic. So the answer is all of these. All these situation, the equilibrium price remain the same. There is no change in equilibrium price. Then due to increase in price of input, equilibrium price, what happened to equilibrium price? Due to increase in price of input, that is shift in supply curve other than price, that is increase in price of input, equilibrium price will it will rises. Due to increase in price of input, equilibrium price rises because there is a shift in, or there is a leftward shift in supply curve. So the equilibrium price will rises with the same demand curve. Okay. Then fourth one, if demand and supply curve do not intersect each other at any positive quantity, the industry is, if the demand and supply curve do not intersect each other, we can say that the industry is not economically viable. It is not economically viable. That industry is not exist in the country or exist in the economy, because demand is always downward sloping and supply is always upward sloping. They will intersect. So that intersect point is the equilibrium price point. So if the demand and supply curve do not intersect each other, that means that industry is not economically viable. That C is the correct answer. Then equilibrium price rises due to Favorable change in taste, increase in income, increase in population, all of these. So equilibrium price rises due to all of these. Favorable change in taste, so there is a shift in demand curve. Increase in income, so there is shift in rightward shift in demand curve. Increase in population, that is rightward shift in demand curve. The supply curve is remain same. So all of this situation will rise the equilibrium price. Then starting from initial market equilibrium, leftward shift in demand curve will result in what? Fall in price and quantity both. There is fall in price and quantity. That means initial market equilibrium, leftward shift in demand curve will result in fall in price and quantity. Both are falling. Then equilibrium price in perfect competition is determined by whom? One group of firm, one individual firm, all the firm, none of the above. So equilibrium price in perfect competition is determined by all the firm, the demand and supply of all the firms. Then next question is, explain determination of equilibrium price in case of viable industries in normal case. So it is very important question. Explain the determination of equilibrium price. So what is equilibrium price? Equilibrium price is determined by the forces of demand and supply in perfect competition. So it is determined at a point where quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. It is a position of rest. So here, so you have in such questions you have to draw the diagram. So in diagram, the demand is downward sloping curve, supply is upward sloping curve, and they intersect at point E. Here, the corresponding to this point, the price in y-axis, it determines the price, and the x-axis measuring quantity. So at the point E, we will determine equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. So here P is the equilibrium price and M is the equilibrium quantity. So this is the determination of equilibrium price in the case of perfect competition market structure. So it's very important question. Then next is, it's an application level question. Demand and supply are like two blades of a pair of scissors. Discuss. Do you agree with this statement? Demand and supply are like two blades of a pair of scissors. So this statement is defended. That means both demand and supply of the commodity are important to determine price, just like two blades of a pair of scissors and important for cutting. So in short run, any one of two may be more important, but in long run, both play equally important role. So as the blades of pair of scissors, both blades are very important. As this scissor, the demand and supply is the supply are the two blades of a pair of scissors. So this statement is very true. Then next is, it is a newspaper headlines based questions. Newspaper headline based questions. So you can expect such questions in your question paper. Newspaper headlines. So this question is based on the newspaper headlines. So here the question is, the following headline appeared in the Hindustan Time on 2nd August 2014. So the headline is, crop damaged in Himachal sent tomato prices roaring in Delhi. So use a diagram and economic theory to analyze the statement. Okay. So crop damage. So that, what do you mean by crop damage? That means there is decrease in supply. If crop damage means there is decrease in supply, that is sent to tomato prices roaring. That is, leads to what? There are hike in the tomato price in Delhi. So use a diagram and economic theory to analyze the statement. How to write answer for these questions? So answer, as the tomato crop was damaged in Himachal. That means the production and supply of tomato would fall. As a result, the supply curve would shift into its left. So you can explain it with the help of a diagram. So there is use a diagram. So in question it's specified you have to draw a diagram. So here the demand is being same. So due to damage in crop, tomato crop, there is a reduction in what? Supply of tomatoes. So the supply curve shift into its left side. So in the adjoining figure, the demand curve DD and the supply curve SS of tomato intersect at point E accordingly. So before the damage of tomato crop, the equilibrium price was what? The first equilibrium price was when the demand and supply intersect, that is the equilibrium price. Here it is E. Equilibrium point is E. At according to the corresponding price is P and corresponding quantity is M. Okay. So due to damage of tomato crop, supply of the commodity decreases. So the supply curve shift into left, that is SS, that is supply curve shift from SS curve to S2 curve. This causes excess demand. Okay, if it is shifted into here, so it causes excess demand. This causes competition among buyers, which pushes the price upward. So the new equilibrium price is E2. At E2 equilibrium level, the price is P2 and quantity is M2. Okay. So there is a shift in supply curve into left side because of the damage of tomato crops that leads to a reduction in the supply of tomato. So the supply curve shift into left side. So the new equilibrium price is P2. The equilibrium point is E2. So due to rise in price, the demand contract from point E to E2. So here the demand is being same. There is no change in demand. Demand is same. So if the shift, due to shift in supply curve, there is a contraction in demand curve. Within contraction means change in or movement along the same demand curve. So demand curve contract from E to E2. So here E2 is the new equilibrium point. So the market demand and market supply become equal again at point E2, which corresponds to a higher equilibrium price and lower equilibrium quantity. Okay. So this explains how prices of tomato rose in Delhi due to damage of tomato crops in Himachal. So this is the economical explanation of how the price of tomatoes rose or increase in Delhi due to damage of tomato crop in Himachal Pradesh. So in simple words we can say that due to damage in tomato crops, the supply of tomato crop would fall. So there is a leftward shift in supply curve. At the same time demand curve is being same. So if supply curve shift to leftward, what happens? There is a excess demand. There is a excess demand and it causes competition among buyers, which pushes the price upward. So due to rise in price, we know that if price rises, demand will decrease. So there is a contraction in demand curve. So demand curve contract to from E to E2. So E2 is the new equilibrium point. At this point, the equilibrium price is P2. So it is above the old equilibrium price, that is P. So new equilibrium price is P2. So there is a hike in price due to damage in tomato rows. Okay. So you can expect one newspaper headline based questions. Okay. The next is government intervention in fixing of price, equilibrium price. So first question, why does government intervene to affect the market equilibrium? What is the reason behind why the government intersect or government interfere in the market equilibrium? So it becomes necessary for the government to intervene to affect market equilibrium. For what purpose? In order to regulate the price of certain goods and services when the prices are either too high or too low in comparison to the desired level. So price ceiling and price floor are measures of direct intervention by government that we have studied in the last class. So the government intervene in the equilibrium price when there is too high or the prices are either too high or too low in comparison to the desired level. So the example is price ceiling and price floor. So these two are the example for direct intervention by government. Then second question, why do black market exist? So in a black market, goods are sold at a price higher than the maximum price fixed by the government. So black market exists because buyers are ready to pay a price more than the price fixed by the market in order to buy the desired quantity of goods. So what is the maximum price? Maximum price means government fix the price below the equilibrium price to protect the interest of consumer, or when there is prices are too high. So but sometimes the buyer are ready to pay a price higher than the price fixed by the government. Okay. So this is known as black market. Okay. So the maximum price, fixation of maximum price leads to what? Black market in an economy. Then the third question, how surplus created as a result of price floor imposed by government is utilized? So what is the implication of price floor? That price floor means fixation of price higher than the market equilibrium price. It creates excess supply or surplus in the market. So unsold stock is bought by the government and kept in buffer stock. So it will stocked by, or it will bought by the government. The excess supply will bought by the government and it is used for distribution through fair price shops like ration shops. So it may be used to meet consumption requirement during natural calamity like flood, earthquake, etc. So it is also used by the government for giving to the worker under Food for Work program and other such special employment scheme launched in India. Okay. So floor price, the implication of floor price is what? It creates government fix the price above the equilibrium price. Or if there is hike in price, what happens? The demand will decrease, at the same time supply will increase. So this excess supply will purchased by the government at the maximum price or at the fixed price, and this stock will used during the time of natural calamity, and also it used by the government for giving to the employment schemes, various employment schemes like Food for Work, etc. So that is the implication of price floor. Then fourth one, how does minimum wage legislation help laborers? So what is minimum wage legislation? That is wage rate is fixed above the equilibrium wage rate. That is known as minimum wage legislation. So wage rate in perfect competition is determined by the market forces of demand and supply of labor. If the market determined rate is considered to be very low, which is inefficient to meet the laborers' basic requirements, then the government impose minimum wages, a wage rate which is higher than that of market determined price. Okay. So this exercise helps to protect the interest of labor because they will get sufficient wage, because government fix the wage rate above the equilibrium wage rate if the equilibrium wage rate is very low. However, it might lead to surplus labor or unemployment. Okay. Then explain the effect of price ceiling or explain the effect of price floor. So price ceiling means fixing the price below the equilibrium. Ceiling. So price ceiling, students, you note that price ceiling, that means fixing the price below the equilibrium price. It is very important. Fixing price below the equilibrium price, that is known as price ceiling. It is the maximum price that seller can legally charge for a good or services. So no producer, no one can fix the price above this ceiling price. So that is price ceiling, maximum price that seller can charge for a good or services. As price is lowered, it will cause excess demand for the good. So since there is a shortage of good, the seller may tend to hoard the goods. It implies the following, that is rationing and existence of black markets that we have discussed earlier. Then what is the implication or what is the effect of price floor? Just opposite of price ceiling. Price floor means is the minimum wage or minimum price fixed by the government which the seller can legally charge for the good or services. So the price is normally set at a higher level than the market determined price. So since this price is above the equilibrium price, it will cause excess supply in the market. Since there is surplus, seller may tend to cut prices. It implies the following, that are government buys the unsold stock and there is a chance for illegal selling or black market. Okay. So these are the implication of price ceiling and price floor. Okay. So these are the important questions in 4th chapter. So students, you have to study these questions very well. Prepare for your final examination. So students, see you in the next class with the next revision for next chapter. Okay, see you. Bye.